Parashat Nitzvim, Vayalach. You can talk with a mouthful. Very nice. It's the parasha right before your Rosh Hashanah. So everybody talks to you about Tshuva. Let's talk about something else today. Hello, Isaac. ¿Cómo estás, querido?
Yeah.
¿Cómo está la vida?
Thank you for the video.
רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל, לפיכך ירבה להם תורה ומצוות. הקדוש ברוך הוא want to do a favor to the Jews. So therefore he gave them a lot of Torah and mitzvot. Okay? So, press him over there, take your head off. And we know that Ribui HaTorah, giving a lot of Torah and a lot of mitzvot, we're giving a man to help him, to support him, to reach a certain level of perfection. And it's the biggest problem that we have with many things, but especially with being an observant Jew, is too much outside propaganda that is being deliberately contaminating our minds. One of the biggest problems with Torah... Where are you running? I just started. Oh, okay, yeah. It's okay. One of the biggest problems, if not the biggest problems in Torah observance, is our attitude and outlook, the way we look at things. People say to me, why do I have to have so many mitzvot? 613 plus a few others from Midirabanan. That is an indication that a person doesn't understand whatsoever what the mitzvot are all about. The Rambam in Sof Halachot Truma writes the following, and he says like this: Verov dinei HaTorah einan ela etzot mirachok migodel ha'etzah. Most of the laws of the Torah, most of the mitzvot of the Torah are a good and unbelievable advice. Etzah, I'm giving you an advice. לתקן הדעות וליישר המעשים. To fix your way you're thinking and to correct your actions. And you see that most people think crooked and act horrifically. This is a very strong statement of the Rambam, of Maimonides, which gives you a totally different outlook of why do we do what we do, why do we keep kosher, why we don't keep kosher, and so on and so forth. It says that our actions, the way and the Rambam says straight out, the way we look at things is wrong. So, learn Torah, keep the mitzvot, having this in mind, and say thank you. Say thank you. Now you understand when we say, Shelo asani goy, he who did not create me a Gentile, he who didn't create me, that Hashem created me a man, not a woman. It's not to downgrade a Gentile or to downgrade a woman. It's to give thanks that I have an opportunity to do the mitzvot because I want to fix my ways. I mean, do you want to be wrong all your life? What's wrong with you? And yet, together with that, many people are quite doubtful whether those demands and the duties that are in front of us are many times above human ability to do. Rabbi, that's too much. It's too much to do. It's too much. Basar bechalav, meat and milk and fish and too much, Rabbi, too much. And on that doubt comes the Torah in our parasha. It says something beautiful. Lo niflat hi mimach velo rechokai. It is not above your abilities, and it's not far away from you. It's within your reach and within your abilities. And that sits very well with the Rambam, that the Rambam in Halachot Shuvah writes, that every person in potential could reach a level of spiritual understanding as Moshe Rabbeinu. That you didn't reach that, it's on you. It's not because of lack of abilities, more of lack of interest. Right, Idan? And then it says, every person can do so. Ki karov elecha davar meod. This is very close to you. Beficha ubelvavcha la'asoto. It's within your heart and your mouth to do. You need to say it. And it's by the way, they use it many times in psychology. One of the stages of therapy is verbalizing the problem. I have a problem. I have a dream. I have a problem. I'm an alcoholic. And so on and so forth, right? To verbalize it. The Torah refers to, in our case, to 3 different actions, which really includes all the functioning of us as humans. And that is thinking, speaking, and actions. And it is very important to know, and very important to realize, that if you know how to use those 3 aspects, the thinking, the speaking, and the action, you could reach perfection. And along the line of the perfection, of course, keeping kosher is a spiritual diet. You need to, you're training to reach perfection. So when you eat wrong food, or you want to, you don't hear, what's his name, Usain Bolt, whatever his name is, saying, I'm about to go to the Olympics. I just feel like trying. I want to experiment eating some, I don't know, whatever it is they eat and not supposed to eat. Pizza.
Pastrami burger.
Pastrami burger, yes. Yeah, pastrami burger. Imagine right before the finals of a 100-meter dash, he's going to have a pastrami corned beef sandwich and so on and so on. He's going to be barfing after 3 steps he's making. Now you understand why you have to keep kosher. It's not going to get you anywhere not doing that. It's for you, for your benefit. And the thing is to keep perfection. Another foundation in that, we can learn from what the Torah says, all of them together in one flow. Beficha ubelvavcha la'asoto. It's in your mouth, it's in your heart, and it's within your actions to do. So in other words, you see here, if a person wants to make tshuva, or a person wants to say, I'm sorry, or a person wants to do something, well, you need to think about it. You need to verbalize what is it that you want, and guess what? You got to do it. You got to do it. If you're not going to follow that pattern, you're going nowhere. And it's very important to understand and to remember that. The person needs to, us as people, we need to worry about and to make sure that there's not going to be a contradiction between those 3 categories that we had mentioned. In other words, when you walk the walk, you're going to talk the talk. You're not going to do one thing and do another thing. Tocho kebaro, your inside is like the outside. You're not going to speak one thing from this side of your mouth and something else on the other side of your mouth. What you think is what you say, is what you do. There is a flaw. And that is true to so many different things in life. When you educate a child, you cannot do good cop, bad cop. Parents need to sit down and understand what they want, and together educate the child on the same page. If you have a good cop, bad cop, the kid learns to manipulate and it becomes a thug. If you have a case like, Iran or what's the name of the other idiots? North Korea. Don't say, oh, we're going to do this, and then you end up doing nothing. I'll continue signing the agreement. You said something, you do it. Otherwise, what are you showing? You're showing them that you're just a barking dog, and a barking dog does not bite.
Let them continue barking.
No, the problem is that we bark. Now, when you do so, and you keep a harmony, or you keep them on the same level, you actually reach a certain level of internal harmony between what you think inside, your pnimiyut, and your action, your chitzoniyut. The speech is the connecting part. The speech comes from within and it comes out. And if you see people that are disharmonious, you'll see that there is a problem inside of them. They say one thing, they mean another thing, and so on and so forth. And we think that if we are so disharmonious, nobody else will pick up on that. And I can tell you, you could not be more wrong than that. Everybody picks up on your disharmony or dishonesty, to that matter. And you're never going to be able to persuade other people to do what is the right thing to do. And I do think that to a certain extent, we as religious people also practice a certain disharmony. And that's why there aren't so many more non-religious people who are coming on board. If we as religious people portrayed resentment towards other people, Sfaradi doesn't like Ashkenazi, Ashkenazi doesn't like Sfaradi, and so on and so forth, comes about Shua, he says, they are both religious people. They don't get along. They don't accept one another. I'm the come from the outside, they're going to accept me. If I'm a Baal Tshuva and I work very, very hard on myself, right? Yes, I have the knatch head like this and I have the garter, but is this guy going to give me his daughter? The guy who was, let's say, a chassid for many, many years is going to give me his daughter? Never. Right, Rebbe? And so therefore, why should I come in? Let me stay outside. When I go outside, everybody likes me. Shaniqua likes me, Lolita likes me, Mommy, Papi, everybody likes me. Shao Ming, Bao Zedong, I'm United Nations. Kim Jong's mentally ill. And when this is what Rabbeinu Bachya wrote in the introduction to Chovat HaLevavot, שהאדם צריך שהצפון והגלוי שבו יהיו שווים ושקולים בעבודת השם. A person needs to reach a certain level of equilibrium, of balance, and his inside and his outside has to be the same, on the same page, on the same wavelength. Otherwise, ultimately, your Avodat Hashem is going to be impaired, and that is because you don't seek perfection. People are very proud. Oh, I'm a perfectionist. I like all my books like this. I clean the shelves. I'm a perfectionist. You're a perfectionist on everything external, but not when it comes to internally. And that's you become a very imbalanced person. You become a person that is intolerant. You can't be with him. That imbalance creates friction and lack of stability, creates anxiety and resentment, and then you become a horrible person. And you look at this. You look all around you. You know, you don't need to be a prophet or some kind of a guru to see that. Go walk around. Try to now apply it, to look at things the way I told you, and you see that I'm right. And I'm sure there are examples all around you. When rabbis fight with one another, what should the people say? Im ba'aravzim nafla shalevet, ma yagidu ezoveak here. If in the cedars of the Lebanon the fire had caught, what would the moth that grows over there would say? This one and against that one. And what happens? They tell you, you have to learn the Torah with this and forget about the money and forget about the money. Money is comes a rich person. Hello, how are you? Right? So people see this hypocrisy. And people resent it. Because there's an imbalance. How can you be a rabbi over school and tell me that you are into education when you're getting $500,000 and you go to Florida for a weekend? And you have private bathrooms in your office and so on and so forth. So what if your school is in... No, never mind. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Relax. Now, and when he says that, Sheyush kulim ba'avodat Hashem, he means for these three things. And he wrote further over there, and I'm quoting, Ad shetiyeh edut halev ha'alashon va'yivarim shava. Imagine that your internal limbs don't work in a synchronizing fashion. Your heartbeat does not fit your effort or your activity. When you lay down, like now you're not doing anything, all of a sudden your heartbeat goes to 140. And when you start running, your heartbeat slows down to 50. You're going to die. The same thing goes to an engine in a car. Everything needs to be in harmony. Because that's the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu had planned the world. Everything in harmony. We need to bring this place back into harmony. And that's why when we live this harmonious life, we actually bring destruction to this world. And this is I know it sounds like a Zen lecture, but believe me, it's not. That's Judaism. That's straight from here. Judaism is gorgeous. It's beautiful. The problem is that we don't want to work on ourselves. Working on yourself means to be dedicated. You don't want to dedicate yourself to anything besides your own self and your own pleasures. And that's your downfall. That harmony between or this fit that we say over there, that there's going to be edut alev, what the heart is saying, and the lashon and the limbs equal. That is what the Torah says. Tamim tiyeh Hashem Elokecha. Tamim means complete. You should reach a level of completion, of wholeness, and that harmony that between what the heart desire and the way you act is not only in your individual life. That is, by the way, for example, also in your marriage life. And that's very important for people to understand. Those of you who are married, or those of you who will get married, Be'ezrat Hashem. And we learn from what Hosea said, that talks about the components for perfect relationship between a husband and wife. And he says the following. It says this in Hosea, which one?
That.
Bet, very good. Pasuk?
Vav.
Wrong. Chaf Aleph and Chaf Bet. וארסתיך לי לעולם, וארסתיך לי בצדק ובמשפט, וארסתיך לי בחסד וברחמים, וארסתיך לי באמונה, וידעת את השם. This, if you will take this and analyze it, we put on the tefillin, right? When you analyze it and you apply your marriage life to those words, you have a key for a very good and healthy and long relationship. And he goes like this. It says it says, of course, there's questions on what the prophet says. The first one, why is irusim, what we call engagement? What is irusim? Is a temporary state between being single and to be married. And why is that the Navi calls it verastichli leolam, forever? It's not forever. You know that those days there was maximum of how long between marriage and engagement?
1 year.
1 year, you're right. So why is leolam? What's forever? Why is it? I'm sorry? Feeling. Nothing but a feel. I hate that song. And it goes like this. Second one, why is the Navi repeating himself, right? It says, this, that, the other one, tzedek, mishpat, chesed, rachamim. Just say, chesed, mad rachamim. And the third one, why is emunah, which is in a way the most important, it says in the end. Emunah means I believe in you. First of all, I believe in you, and then I will keep you forever, then I will keep you b'chesed, mishpat. Why is it in the end? And the explanation is very simple. It's very, I think it's pretty good. The Navi, Hosea, picked this order in order to teach us that the perfection of relationship, of married relationship between husband and his wife, is also built on three parts. As we said before, we have the thinking, we have the speech, and we have the action. So here also, and that is the kesher, the connection of marriage, is really comes into place and magnified in the time of engagement in between when the husband and wife, or the future husband and wife, live separated from each other. And look now, why is that people who live with each other before they're married actually end up divorcing? People say, oh no, if we religious people would allow to live with one another, there won't be so much divorce. Excuse me, you know what's the divorce rate in the outside world, in non-religious circles? It's ridiculous. I mean, they live with each other for 3, 4, 5 years, 6 years. There's something special about, and that's what you said, there's something special about the time of engagement, that they live separately and they love each other, an unconditional love. They're yearning for each other without, it's unconditional. And that is an unbelievable thing. To a certain extent, we kind of miss it today, but knowing how the people behave, you know what, I understand why Chachamim cut the whole process of engagement nowadays. And after this ideal love, without any obligation, the ideal love, comes the time of the marriage, where their relationship stands, believe me guys, a daily test. When you get married, your marriage is being tested daily. Every single day something. The guy has 3 kids, his wife is home tired, he comes from work, she wants to cook tomorrow, he has to rush buying shopping at 9 o'clock at night. Right? It's a test. He could say to her, no, I don't want to do that. It's a test. And this one, honey, I went to school, I have the baby crying, I'm nursing the baby with the other one, and so on and so forth. You can't go to school, you can't go to learn. It's a test. How are we going to live now? What are we going to do? And that's what, and what gives the family life this steadiness and this continuous effort is that relationship which they had beforehand, the ideal relationship beforehand during the time of the Erusin. And what the Navi is talking about, what Hosea is talking about, that he's going to continue to feel for her as much as he felt for her when they were engaged into marriage as well. And that's what I tell many couples who have problems. I said, you know what? And that's the stages of boredom, the stages of getting divorced, usually the 3 to 5 years, 7 to 10 years, right? I said, well, you have to start courting your wife. You have to start dating again. Because your marriage reaches a certain slump. Well, you have to start rekindling what you had before. I mean, afterwards, you did get married, hopefully, because you really want to be with each other. So where is this thing gone? It's this ember that was left from this great fire that was burning inside of you. Well, now you got to take this ember and going to rekindle that fire again. And that's what it says here. And that's what he says, Va'arastichli le'olam. The same way as I'm going to feel for you now that we are engaged, I am planning on maintaining this feeling towards you forever. Now you're my wife. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to invest. I don't have to do anything. Which happens all the time. You learn to take things for granted. You learn to take things for granted. You don't appreciate. You don't say, thank you so much. You're beautiful. You don't look forward for her. And the same thing she is. She doesn't look forward to you. There's not an investment. And then the relationship falls apart and it's finished. But we should know that the ideal component, even if you have, does not have the power or the guarantee that this is going to last forever. Even though you want to, but that's not a guarantee. And you're going to have fights. And you're going to have arguments. And eventually even that might get grinded down and disappear. But if the members of the couples would learn to be considerate to one another, to help one another with all the heart that they needed, without any self-consideration for themselves, if they just do it because they want to give, then the marriage life would last. If not, it will fall apart. How about me? How about me? Here, take the baby. I've been with the baby all day long. You're right, you've been with the baby all day long, but I was at work working. What do you mean? Oh, it's your job now. It's not our job now. I got to go to learn. I mean, can you think about the girl with the right mind who calls herself a religious girl who is not interested in the husband learning on a regular basis? I will tell you there's something wrong with a girl like that. Why are you shipping the baby on him? He needs to go to learn. And therefore comes the Navi and tells us that beyond that ideal feeling that we have during the time of engagement, there is a need to actually establish our marriage relationship by different understandings that would require us or obligate to us to work on this one another, and then to add on something which is called the extra, or we call lifnim mishurat hadin. I'm going to do extra. I'm required to do this, but I'm going to do extra for you. I'm required to buy my wife jewelry during the three high holidays. I'm going to buy it on a Tuesday. Why on a Tuesday? Because of her. Because she is. It's not her birthday. It's not a holiday. She is the holiday. That's lifnim mishurat hadin. Don't worry about it. I'll do the dishes. No, I'll do this. Fine, you'll do the dishes. I'll stand. Do you mind if I stand next to you? Stand next to your wife while she's doing the dishes. Don't kick your feet on the sofa. Let's go lifnim mishurat hadin. Show that you care. By doing those extra things, little things, you don't need much. Chesed is not necessarily a big thing that you need to do. Volunteer and give blood. We're not vampires or Draculas. Chesed could be a little thing, a little kind act of, or an act of kindness, a small act of kindness that will take you a long way. And that's what the Navi says. V'arastichli betzedek u'bemishpat, v'arastichli bechesed u'berachamim. The tzedek, justice, is something that obligates us from the din. There is a din, there is a law, and I'm obligated to that justice by the law. Okay. But this is it's in theory. There is the deen, there is that law that says that. The mishpat, the sentence, is what counts, right? And the sentence is taking the justice, the tzedek, and manifesting it into your own life. And together, you have to have it in your marriage life. You have to do what is the din, and now you have to actually implement it and do lifnim mishurat hadin as well in your married life. You don't have that, you don't have anything. So if you want to know why a husband is obligated so much to his wife by the Torah mitzvot, it's because of that. And when a person, you have to understand, when you're doing what you have to do, you have a good chance to make it. When you don't do what you have to do, you're going to fail. And this is also for us, for the mitzvot. And a person should know also that in his married life, right, he must do lifnim mishurat. He must go the extra mile, him and her. They both have to go the extra mile towards each other. As I said to you before, it is an opportunity, being married is an opportunity for you to give. Not just to receive, but more to give. If you don't have the will and the need to give, you're going to have a hard time in your married life. Most likely you're going to get divorced. And if one side only gives and one side only wants to receive, that's also bad. You're not God, you're going to deplete your resources, and eventually you're going to say, you know what, I had enough. I'm the only one who's doing this all the time, I can't do it. She needs to give more than she has to, and he needs to give more than he has to, because of the love that they had initially, the beginning of that. The chesed and the rachamim is an internal, feeling of the heart inside, right? Which is the chesed that we feel, and the rachamim is in the level of actually doing. I feel it inside, and I have mercy, and I'm acting upon this mercy. So when you have married life that is based on this harmony of abstract spirituality combined with an action, physical action, that is the basis in which a house of Torah could be built. And then, only then, you have the arastichli be'emunah. Only the emunah can come only when you have those things in place. A house, a Jewish house, it has to be built on emunah. And you can't build it on emunah if you don't have those other components in place. Bait ne'eman, which we say all the time, tizke lakim bait ne'eman b'Yisrael, a house that is built on emunat chachamim, emunat Hashem, emunat Torah, and so on and so forth. As it says, and after that, the Navi finishes, it says, only after you did v'arastichli le'olam, a commitment that you're going to make. Arastichli tzedek u'mishpat, b'chesed u'berachamim, v'arastichli be'emunah, only then, v'yadata et Hashem. Good? Good. I'm not done. Now take everything that I told you and apply it to your relationship with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Not for nothing, Knesset Israel is medume to the Kala and HaKadosh Baruch Hu to the Chatan. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes with us, lifnim mishurat hadin. And He had promised us that He's going to be our God forever. But how about us? Atem nitzavim po hayom kulchem. You are standing here, all of you today. How do you stand in front of God? Are you willing to give? Are you giving? Are you calling yourself a religious person externally, but internally, what are you doing? You tell everybody what not to say, what not to see, what not to watch. How about you? What do you think? How do you stand in front of God? Da me'ayin bata. Know where you came from. Ule'an ata olech. Where are you going? Ulifnei mi ata atid liten din v'cheshbon lifnei melech malkei hamelachim. You are going to stand in front of God, give Him an account for everything you do, and He's going to ask you, why did you betray me? He said, I betrayed you? I was loyal to you. You weren't loyal to me. That's why one of the forbidding cases of marital relationship is when the husband is thinking or the wife is thinking of someone else while they're intimate together. It's called b'nei t'mura. I'm thinking about somebody else and I'm with this one. It's a spirit that brings a spiritual blemish to the child. B'nei Tmuah. So we're worshiping Hashem and we think about other idols. Rabotai, where are we going with this? You go to funerals a little bit and realize that this person right now in front of you to be buried, he's going right now to stand in front of Hashem. You need to realize that every Rosh Hashanah, Rabotai, every Rosh Hashanah for you is a general rehearsal for the day that which we're going to stand in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu for the last time. Every single Rosh Hashanah, it's like you're dead. That's what's going to happen to us when we die. And how are you going to stand in front of God? Like a desperate housewife? Or like a Rebbetzin? A Balat Chesed? How? I'm asking you. That's what we tell the person before we take him out. Rabbi Yakavia ben Maalael says, Da me'aim bata mitipas rucha. ולאן אתה הולך אל מקום עפר רימה ותולעה ולפני מי אתה עתיד לתת דין וחשבון לפני מלך מלכי מלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. רבותיי, when you are standing in 18 in Rosh Hashanah, please remind us beforehand to the people, the congregants around you, maybe to the rabbi around you, to cut down on the production and to concentrate on that fact that this is a rehearsal for the last day. Nitzvim atem hayom. We are going to stand in front of God. And how are we going to stand? We have time. Rosh Hashanah is on Wednesday night. Today is Thursday. Well, actually Friday, but you know. It is not too late to quickly reevaluate your life. V'tov sha'achat kodem. Now, if a person is chozer b'tshuva before he died, and he does it mi'ahava, nimchalim lo kol avonotav. Rabotai, we have plenty of days before Rosh Hashanah to take a good and a brave and an honest look into our lives, into our actions, and to take an account for that, to take responsibility and to change it. So we can come to Rosh Hashanah and the Kadosh Baruch Hu and tell him the truth. Chatanu lefanecha, rachem aleinu. Kadosh Baruch Hu, I love you. I'm sorry. And you really mean it from the heart. But you're going to shul on Rosh Hashanah. It's a show. If you want to see operas, go to the Metropolitan Opera over there. They have good performance over there. But you don't understand the magnitude of the day. You don't understand the magnitude of the day. And that is lack of knowledge of Hashem, lack of emunah of Hashem, lack of willingness to go the extra mile, lack of knowledge of the dinim, of the laws of the halachot, and lack of commitment, and forever commitment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, regardless of what He committed to us. So Rabotai, don't be afraid. Take a good look. Change it. It's not too late. I wish you all Shabbat Shalom, and Bezrat Hashem Abba Toseh Chanukah Sameach, but Shana Tova, Gmar Chatima Tova, and all the brachot, whichever you want, should all come on upon us and all Am Yisrael, ונזכה כולנו לתחיית המתים, ונראה בבניין משיח צדקנו, ובבניין ירושלים, ותהיה מלכותו על כל הארץ, and this is also should be לעילוי נשמת my father, גדליה מורנו בן מטילדה, אמן כן יהי רצון.